Okay, and I'm back. So, next mission is in the Western Frontier campaign. This is another one that's not very interesting. Just another transport unit. Okay, surprise attack on Fort 51. And here we have the air transport. And just like every other air transport, not a lot to say about it. You can fly around, you can't land. It has machine guns on it. You can't order it to attack things because it will crash the game. You can order it to defend things though, which I will right now. So there you go. And one other thing I want to show about this mission before I finish this. This was a mission that we were kind of experimenting with. Well, Ephraim was experimenting more than I was with converting it into... Well, I was interested in making it a multiplayer mission. He was making a single-player scenario out of it where you play as Tundra and try to capture the Frontier Air Base. And in doing so, part of that process was making it so that it had the multiplayer damage bonuses for both armies. So as you can see, this is like a lot more troublesome than it normally is when you play this in single player because the enemy units and your units are on par with each other. So even as the commander, I take a lot more damage than I normally would, and I don't do as much damage to enemy units. So it's almost impossible to actually defend it now with these kind of attack and defense ratios applied to both armies. As you can see, I just lost all of my units and they still have a whole bunch of grunts left. So that was just to demonstrate that. And more importantly, by doing that, you can actually make single player into a pretty good self-imposed challenge just by changing the damage and defense of each army to how they are in multiplayer, because by doing that, they're evenly matched. And I died. And that's all we actually have for the Frontier campaign. We have a couple more units in the Tundran campaign, though. And actually, you know what? The battleship might not be the only interesting unit.
Has been overrun by...
There's one unit that's kind of interesting.
That's our missing grunt. Get Private Hazard
And
out of the minefield.
Betty just spoiled it in case you didn't know already. But the unit we're showing here is Private Hazard. Yep, he's his own unit. And it might come as a disappointment to you, but he acts as a regular grunt. He has the same stats as a regular grunt, and which means his damage and defense are the same. His health is the same. The only thing that's different, obviously, is how he looks. And he looks very different. He has a bandage on his head, and his backpack says Private Hazard on it, which is actually a pretty cool detail. Like, you can't really see it that well unless you get all up close to him. But it actually does say that. Let's see if I can get out of this minefield without dying. Oh, there's a gunship. Oh god, this just became much harder than it was a second ago. I didn't expect that to happen. Oh god, okay, don't touch that. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. We're gonna try to get to the Tundran units without dying. That's my objective right now. If I can do that. Oh wow, no. No, there's no way I'm gonna be able to, though. He's totally dead. He's totally dead. Yeah, out of the fire and into the frying pan, as they say. Well, this is nice. These trees provide good cover, though. Okay, looks like we might make it. As long as those anti-air veterans do what they're supposed to do. Go, anti-air veterans, save me! Save me, thank you. So yeah, Private Hazard. Not a lot to say about him. He's a grunt. He looks cool. He has his own name. And I guess he's pretty much like, well no, he's not like the munitions expert. He's better than that because he actually can attack. Try to kill this mortar veteran right now. And there you go. And there are some more frontier units over here. They're not under my command because I have to get within range of them. But all they have are mortar veterans and grunts, which you get to use in single player already. So not really worth showing. And I can't actually finish this mission because in order to get victory, Tundra has to be the ones who save the mausoleum by disarming the bombs. If the Frontier disarms the bombs, nothing happens. And actually, I don't even think I don't think the bombs will be armed, even if you go in there, if you're the Frontier. I think Tundra has to get near there. So, not much else to show here. But one thing I will mention is, we noticed that when Tundra is your ally, their units actually seem to act pretty, they act pretty smart. And even without a commander, which I think has something to do with the fact that whatever army you're playing as mostly is designed to take commands from you, but the allied armies are usually set up to act smarter and more independently of what you're doing. So when you change who you're playing as to the Frontier, the Tundran units do a pretty decent job of defending themselves, as you can see. And that's it for that one. We have one more to go to. And that one more is this one.
The battle moves north.
And this is the last online mission that I converted to single player for this video. And it is... I forget what the name of it is. But it's actually the same map as the one we just showed.
Commanders, I bring grave news. Kaiser Vlad has...
I'm sure most people noticed that, but yeah, this is the same map as where we just were, except we spawned over here. But other than that, obviously it's nighttime now. Now, similarly to in the previous video with the Solar Empire units, how I had to play as that grunt, same thing with this one for the battle station. The only way I could get it to load properly is if I had myself spawn as the battle station from the beginning. If I tried spawning as something else, the mission wouldn't fully load, which is kind of annoying. But, oh well. Just another thing that I need to figure out at some point. And the only reason I needed to show this mission is because of the Western Frontier Fighter. But yeah, here it is. And it's just like any other fighter, for the most part. Let's see if I can take out a gunship with it.
Another gunship! Destroy the battle station from the air!
And down goes that gunship. Normally, you don't get the fighters until you complete the first objective, and then you get fighters and bombers to take out the mining spider. But again, just like in previous missions, I simply added another fighter so I could have it from the get-go instead of having to complete those objectives. And that's it. That's actually all of the Frontier units that I needed to show, but I do want to talk about one thing before I end this video. Let's go here, let's go here, and let's go to the Frontier units. Because I know that if you're watching this, you're probably like, where's the battle station? Where's the Strata Destroyer? And believe me, I was really hoping that I'd find a mission that had them. And when you consider the fact that they went to the trouble to make they edited the model of this just so it would act the same way as the other new battle stations with a rotating head, and for it not to show up in the game is kind of a downer. But when I looked through all the level XMLs the same way I did to find the battleship, because after I found the battleship I was like, oh, I really hope that the battle station or Strata Destroyer is in a mission, but they weren't. They're just absent completely. So that's very surprising, again, given the fact that they have these updated models for the second game. But there is still some hope. There's a little bit of hope, because even though I checked all of the XML files where the units are actually, like, loaded, because if the units aren't in the XML files, then there's a good chance that they aren't in the level at all. But there's also RES files, which are what contain, like, as far as I can tell, they're what actually tells the mission, okay, these are the units that you have available and whatnot. So I haven't looked through all of those, and there's actually a slight chance that maybe the battle station and Strato Destroyer are still in one of the RES files for a mission somewhere. And if they are, that means you can go into the XML and just add a Strato Destroyer or a battle station to it, as long as it's in the RES file. That's our theory anyway. We don't know for sure, but we're pretty sure that that's how it would work. So, that said, I am sorry if you're disappointed by the absence of the Strato Destroyer and battle station in this video. I was really hoping to be able to show them off, but again, nothing I can do. When I do go through the RES files, which I'll probably do, I don't know, maybe a week or two from now, if I find them, and if I get them working, I'll make a video just for those two units, because they're worthy of their own video for sure. It would be great to be able to use the battle station and Strato Destroyer again, and it'd be cool if, you know, there was another Strato Destroyer besides just Xylvanian, the Xylvanian Strato Destroyer. That way, if we ever set up like a custom mission, we'd be able to have both armies with their own Strato Destroyers fighting each other, which would be pretty cool. But anyway, that is it for the Frontier units, and I will see you when we go over the Anglo units. So, goodbye.